Can I just say, your tits look friggin' massive. Are you sure you didn't go in for a boob job? Honestly.
It's what you do when you're not in the fitness industry anymore. You put weight on.
Look at your boobs. Honestly,
Yeah.
they're looking cracking.
Woke up from the anaesthetic. I must be a right cow. That screw that was lying in between the ankle joint has basically eroded at the joints, and there was no cartilage left in there, but it also caused a load of cysts and holes. Hang on, Angela's interrupting what?
Oh.
I'll give it to Stafford Hospital. I had a lovely time, because basically if they fuse that bone together and there's an infection in the bone,
Yeah.
it's possible loss of limb again, is it? So they draw a circle around where the blood is.
You'll lose some ability, but what will you gain with having that fusion?
Like being put under anaesthetic and things like that.
I think the whole benefit and disability system is so flawed.
I'm going to call this friend Pinocchio, just because the amount of lies that have come out.
Whether no one cares or not, it's good to get it off our chest.
When you just fucking haven't listened to a word I've just said.
Everyone's got every right to feel frustrated about shit and pissed off about stuff, but when you were voice noting and you were crying and you were getting upset, like, it killed me.
Have you got it on? Have you got Emmerdale on? So we can carry on with the podcast.
Hello and welcome to Becoming Lucy with me, Hannah.
And me, Lucy. Oh, snugging a bug.
You are snugging a bug, and it is definitely a little bit of a different episode today. And we are going kind of back to the beginning because for anyone that doesn't know, our first ever episode was with Lucy talking about the accident that kind of brought this whole thing on right now. A really, really fantastic episode to really deep dive into your accident. So for anyone that doesn't know, do you want to briefly tell us about that initial episode and the accident, and then we can talk about why we're here today?
Yeah, well, I think the best part is go back to episode 1 and get the whole story. But for those who obviously want a quick recap, obviously nearly 2 years ago now, June 2024, I was at a Spartan race, quite into my fitness racing, but that was a new race for me. Coming off a balance beam and my foot came off. Basically, didn't it?
Literally.
Foot came off the other way. It was nearly loss of limb. Got the foot back on, and was going really well for, I'll say really well, like 6 months or so, healing above targets because they said I wouldn't be mobile independent and, able to look after myself and all these kind of things. And then in the new year of 2025, went downhill again, got infected, nearly lost a limb again, which we covered obviously in episode 1. And literally not even a week ago, we are at the stage now where I've had the 3rd operation in all of this since the 2-year mark. So I'm currently, for anyone who's not watching, in bed with my blankets around me with my foot up. And a little bit of a different scenery. The clock's still there, but it's not the same background as it normally is.
Yeah,
with the whole pod.
Yeah, definitely. Well, firstly, it's so good to see you. Obviously, we've been chatting as normal over the last few days, and I sent you a very blustery video on the day of your op to make you laugh. And obviously, I know you had loads of messages and whatnot from your friends and family, and probably a few people from the pod as well, which is really good. But yeah, really lovely to see you, and yeah, just nice to know that you're kind of recovering well and everything's going to plan. What I will say is right now your blanket is slipped, showing me cleavage, and can I just say your tits look friggin' massive. Are you sure you didn't go in for a boob job? Honestly.
It's what you do when you're not in the fitness industry anymore. You put weight on.
Look at your boobs. Honestly, they're looking cracking. Watching this, I would watch it because we did have a little nip slip then almost. And I think this ankle stuff's a load of shit. You've got to...
Imagine turning back up in work at like the end of the year, like all plastic and fantastic.
No, but all jokes aside, let's just chat about everything that happened on Thursday. But let's start actually a little bit with a few days before, because it was obviously nerve-wracking. This operation's been put back once already. You didn't really know what you were going to go in for. you've gone to consult on appointments and this, that, and the other. What were you feeling a couple of days before the operation?
I was a little bit up and down when I spoke to you about it, and it
Mm.
was a bit like, for those who don't know, I think the last time we actually talked about it on the pod, I was hopefully going for stem cell treatment,
Mhm.
ankle distraction, which has completely changed since that episode because once I went down to osteostomy, which I still can't say right, Charlie hopefully will correct me on that one. Unfortunately, it's got a load of cysts and holes in the joint, which was caused by the metalwork. So for those who didn't know, it was a pylon fracture, open break compound, big, big name. Um, as a pylon represents, we all did it when we were kids. Pylon,
Mhm.
you crush the person at the
Did it
bottom, and
at the
that's obviously
wedding?
what happened. Yeah, you did it at the wedding. You at the top, weren't you? Um,
God. Should have learned it.
really emotional moment. Then Hannah's like, pylon.
I apparently, sorry to digress quickly. I was having this moment with Rob, and you
Yeah.
said that it was like this emotional moment. I looked out my eye and saw everyone doing a pylon, and I got FOMO, so I just sacked it off and jumped on the pylon instead. That was much more fun. Sorry, Rob. Carry on.
Sorry. So yeah, it was a pylon fracture. So it had a lot of metal work in it, and when I was having those issues last year, basically it's because the metal is shifted, but that didn't get picked up until months and months later. And that screw that was lying in between the ankle joint is basically eroded at the joints, and there was no cartilage left in there, but it also caused a load of cysts and holes in the top of that joint and in the
Mhm.
bottom of it. So when we went to look at stem cell treatment, it was basically you wouldn't returf a football pitch if half the turf was missing. So I had like cysts in it from like a pea size to 50p size, and obviously loads of holes. So it was like stem cell is basically not an option. An ankle distraction is like 50% of it working. And then you kind of
Mhm.
come back and you're like, oh, is it worth it? Because if anyone doesn't know what ankle distraction is, you're going to be put back into those big cages
Mhm.
around your leg, and it's a bit like a tooth brace where they're going to lengthen the limb, then rid out all the arthritis and all that kind of jazz. Replace obviously the cartilage with stem cells, and it's a lengthy process to put yourself through that. Even though we're like 2 years down the line, and it not work. So it's like
Mm.
I went to see different consultants, and they just basically said they don't think it's going to be the case. So the best thing is to ankle fusion, which is what we're on the road to now. The first bit of the operation I've had to had is the metal workout. So I'll put some pictures on our socials, but I did put it on the other day. So I've had about, I think it was like 4 screws and one plate out.
Mm.
The rest they couldn't get out because it was like really
Wedge.
wedged in, and like they're the screws. If anyone's seen the X-rays, the ones that are snapped
It
inside.
it's mad that you can just, like, go along with life with, like, broken screws in you though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, they've tried their hardest to get them out, but are they just gonna, like, disintegrate in your
Then it
body?
just the bone just grows around them, I think, and that's it.
Wow.
So the ones obviously the major concerns was that one right between the
Mhm.
joint. So they've took that out. I didn't really think they were going to take the plate out, but that's come out as well. And then they that was down there longer than I thought. I thought it was going to be a quick job because half this metal's floating about. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to take long to come out. But I think I was under for about 3 hours. Um, to the surgery, but they got rid of a load of scar tissue, and they said basically the joint was literally going around like this. So that's brilliant news for
Yeah, 'cause it's
me,
got mobility, right?
mobility, but unfortunately, who's going to get views? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in hindsight, you kind of think, if this was last year,
Yeah.
I probably could have had the stem cell treatment, the ankle distraction. But hindsight's a great thing, isn't it? So they now, in hopefully 6 to 8 weeks, I'll have the ankle fusion. So the reason it has to be split is because of the infection last year.
Mhm.
They want to check that the metal's not infected still or got any sign of underlying infection, because basically if they fuse that bone together and there's an
Yeah.
infection in the bone,
Yeah.
it's possible loss of limb again, is it? Because she's
Yeah.
going to spread up until the bones. So this is why we've had to break it down. So it actually feels pretty decent,
I
to be
was gonna
fair.
I was gonna ask,
Like,
obviously. So thank you for that explanation and kind of like bringing us back to up to speed basically, and also kind of what that operation entailed, and kind of the different treatments that you were going to go for and this, that, and the other. Because obviously, I know you were really disappointed when the stem cell treatment didn't work out, and obviously. You know, the original conversation we've just had then was kind of how you were feeling in the lead up to the
mm,
operation. So there must have been that disappointment and that nerves that you were feeling, and obviously just the hope as well. So to hear you say that, you know, it feels pretty good is like such a great sort of outcome. And is it like less pain? Does it feel lighter? Like, explain, what do you mean by feeling pretty good?
I think it doesn't feel. I know it sounds daft because anyone's watching. I don't know if I can get it in. Like it's like in a. It's not in a cast,
Yeah.
but it's like bandaged up.
Yeah.
But like I can move my toes, like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
everybody was watching this.
Yeah.
Like it's like movable, like it doesn't feel as like rigid as you
Yeah.
like with all the scar tissue. And
Yeah.
obviously that would have been around the metal and stuff. So it feels all right. I mean, don't get me wrong, it has been painful at times.
Mm.
Been on the old tramadol. And again, like when I woke up from the anaesthetic, I must be a right cow. I ate that question, you know, like what's your pain threshold? The scale of 1 to 10. And I can remember, especially being on anaesthetic, I just remember saying, it took me about 2 days to remember this. It was last night. I was like, what was I so nazi about when I woke up? I remember going, oh, I ate that question. To the
I mean,
nurse.
it's like, it is literally, if you want the truth out of someone, get them high on anaesthetic and ask them all the questions in the world, right? And were you back on the old ketamine?
No, no ketamine. No, no, it was
Hospital treatment only, guys, disclaimer.
yeah. Yeah, no, I wasn't even on the morphine.
That's
Can't
good.
remember what they put. It was on. It was an Optoid one, but it wasn't morphine. It was in a string. Um,
Optoid, do you mean opioid?
Optoid. Yeah, that's one. You know
Brilliant.
me.
So, yeah, it was an Optoid one. Oh, that's a new one.
Good job I didn't do drugs as a kid. I would have had all sorts.
And maybe you should have.
I'll have some of those Optoids, please.
And that will cost you double, because I don't even know what it is. Yeah, that, I mean, again, you know, if anyone's interested in toes, then you could have an OnlyFans site coming off the back of this. Your foot in the camera there. But no, yeah, you can definitely see it's like slimmer's the wrong word, but you know what I mean? Like more compact, and like you've got a bandage round it, and it's, you know, not got a load of extra sort of like padding and cast and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, because I was supposed to have a cast on it. So I woke up and I got one of those black boots on it, and I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's one of the worst things is think, although it's bandaged up and obviously you can't put a lot of weight on it, but you can put weight on it if it's on a
Yeah.
boot. So I was like, I'm not going to, because I think if you don't move for like a week, I think you can lose up to like 5% of muscle mass, which doesn't sound a lot, but it is quite a lot for you to gain that in a
Yeah.
week. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. If
So
you,
again, if you're off it for 2 weeks, 6 weeks, you
yeah.
know, this is why people obviously lose. And it's not only from your leg, it's from, you know, your glutes and everywhere
Yeah.
else if you can't
It's all
move about.
connected, isn't it?
So I'm like, yay, I can move a bit. So I can actually do a bit more um, than I thought. And then I was like, oh, what could I do in the gym? Like,
Can I
um,
dance yet?
can I dance? Yeah. And you know what? They were quite good. They were he was like, my consultant was like, oh, just do what you need to do. And then the physio who came round, even though I was at Stafford Hospital this time,
Mhm.
she was like, I saw your name and I knew it was going to be you. And she was working at Stoke when I, you know, went back
Yeah.
last year. And she was like, oh, you know, we'll just leave it with you. She goes, you've got your standard exercises, but we know you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And just kind of brainstormed ideas of what to do from there. And you
it-
know what? I'll give it to Stafford Hospital. I had a lovely time.
I mean, talk us through the stay. We can be like in what's that program called? Four
40
beds or
towers.
something.
Oh, for yeah, it's a
Uh,
B&B.
yeah.
Four in the
Four
bed.
on the bed. Four on the bed.
Yeah,
Be
yeah,
like
yeah.
four on the bed. You could rate it. So
I know.
not to say then what we should say actually So me and Luce obviously had a bit of a catch up on the Wednesday, and like you said, you were quite emotional. There was other things going on, trying to book some travel for
Trains.
a gig that Lucy and I are going to in a couple of weeks. So that didn't, that added to it. But I think in general, absolutely understandable. You were apprehensive, nervous, hopeful about what was happening on the Thursday. Also, you're probably a little bit fuming that old Martin wanted to take you there 6 hours early. Tell us about why Marty wanted to get you at 3 a.m. in the morning. He didn't, but I'm just saying it was a
It
long
was
time,
5
right?
a.m.
5
5 a.m. 5 a.m.
a.m.
We have to be at the hospital for 7, and the hospital's Stafford Hospital, and it takes, on the sat nav, 44 minutes. So this is me checking it at lunchtime. Might have got a little bit up at like 5 o'clock. We need to be there at 7 a.m. So we all know that traffic is not going to be bad. But Martin did not believe that the sat nav was 44 minutes. He's like, no, I'm not having it. I was like, okay, we'll check Google Maps. Nah, I don't believe it.
So he picked you up at 5 a.m.
I got Angela's interrupting what?
Oh,
Took him an hour and a half to come and get me.
so
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
got
saying
stuck
it took
in
an hour and a
an hour and a
half.
half to come and collect me from the hospital because they hit traffic. But we don't expect traffic. Well, it said 44 minutes, and then I was just shouting.
I love the fact that she has got your dad's back in this. You've literally been having an operation. You've got half a foot, bless you. And she's like, do you know what? I'm having your dad's back in this. It took us an hour and a half. That is lovely, romantic relationship there after
Yeah.
all these years.
So basically, we had to go the long way because I told my dad, I was like, it's 44 minutes. He goes, I'm just going to go drive slower. And then I'm proving my point. I was like, okay. So we're going at 5 o'clock. No matter what, we need to make time. It'll take you 20 minutes to get from the car, Lucy. Like, okay.
Fair.
Yeah. So we set off and we got there at it was 12 minutes past 6.
Okay.
So we went the long way because Mum doesn't like driving the motorway. So Dad went the long way on the A34 just to make sure Mum would know her way if she had to come and collect me. Because obviously, for those who don't know, Martin's gone on a fishing trip. So we didn't know how long I'd be in for, if,
Yeah.
precautions and all. So I got there extra early. The lights were all off in the ward. If anyone doesn't know Stafford Hospital, it shuts. It doesn't open till 8 o'clock. So like A&E doesn't open till 8 o'clock. So there was no.
I mean, don't have an
cars on the car
accident, guys,
park.
before 8 o'clock in Stafford.
No.
You're getting seen.
Yeah. And yeah, straight on the ward. And then I waited for me 2 little friends to turn up. Shout out to Sharon and Fleur, who were on the ward with me
Aw.
that day. And then, just chin-wagging with them. And
Is that what made it a nice experience, or did you get some good grub? Were the nurses nice? What else added to it? I'm writing notes for
when
or in the bed.
I think it's no, the nurses. I think because you imagine hospitals, like last time I went in, obviously it's busy. It's like, oh, you're struggling for a bed, and like you see people in corridors, like me and Sharon were saying, this is like private treatment. Like in the end, like me and her stayed in, and it's probably me and her and one other person in that whole big ward.
Amazing.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's used to day cases, so you've still got a team of night staff nurses, but they're constantly on the ball. Like if you press the button, they're there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're so attentive. There was no rushing. Like I could have got up to go to the toilet and sneak off. But I wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
Like, no, you ring us. No, we're watching you. No, put your shoes on. No, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't cheat for anything. You're just like, I just need to go. And it was like, no, put your crutches in front. Right, we're waiting outside the door. There was no have to rush off to other people and stuff like that. And then no, obviously they've cut for time. We spoke about the NHS a lot, and sometimes they're really short for staff. But it just felt nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you weren't putting on anybody, and they were just
yeah.
like, no, ring us. Like if you need something, ring us. If you need more painkillers, ring us. And like the food lady, she's got like, you need another brew? I'll get you another brew. You just shout. Like, do you know, like.
Well, do you know what? And I think, like you said, we have spoken about the NHS, and we've never derogatorily talked about them personally. We've just talked about the fact that it is so tight for them, and like you said, short-staffed and resources and money. So actually, it's nice to share a positive experience.
Yeah.
And we always say it's about people's own experiences and things. And you are saying that, despite the operation that you're going in for and all the sort of anticipation around it and the emotions you felt, actually the stay at Stafford Hospital was really pleasant. And that's a
Mm.
great thing to shout about.
Yeah, 100%. Like Sharon, I don't know if I should read like real names, but like she works at Stoke. She's like, I'd happily come back here again.
I
She goes,
mean,
who's
would
nice? She's like,
recommend. I'll put that on the four on the bed in notes. No, amazing, but it does make things better, surely, because
mm.
you then you're not kind of on the bed feeling like you're putting on people. Not that you should, and not that nurses and doctors feel that, but in yourself, you were getting that treatment that you rightly deserved.
Yeah, it
Um,
reminded me like back in the day a bit because like the nurses had chance to have a chat with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was
yeah,
watching maths. Well, I was trying to watch maths while trying to talk to people, but like this, like because I had it on loud then because I can't remember, but there was no one else in, and the nurse was like, "What are you
yeah,
watching?" And I'm like, "Maths." She's like, "Oh, I've not watched the seasons yet." Do you know what I mean? And she's like on about past seasons and like, "Would
yeah,
you do
yeah.
it?" and all this kind of stuff where people don't normally have chance
No,
to talk. And then she was going like the Maldives tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Talking about like, where she
yeah.
was from. And it was just nice to actually have those conversations.
And I bet it's nice for them as well. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? To kind of get to know their patients a little bit and kind of just be able to have those normal conversations without feeling like their buzzers are going off every 2 seconds and whatnot. No, I mean, it sounds great. I mean, I'm not going to want to book in because that means I've got something wrong with me. But I'm really glad that you and Sharon and Fleur had that experience.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, Fleur was gone time I got out of my operation. She
Speedy
was
as
gone.
well.
Yeah, she was gone. Yeah.
And did Martin and Ange stay with you the whole time? Then did they have a nice
No,
setup?
they have to drop you off at Stafford.
Right.
So literally, yeah. They can come into the ward when they pick you up, but it's literally drop off at the reception. You wheeled into your room.
Okay.
Well, I was wheeled in, obviously, in my wheelchair.
And
But
how did you feel about that then? Did you know they weren't able to stay?
it did say on the letter. But yeah, fine. Like I said, I was a bit of a weird kid anyway, wasn't I? I used to like going to hospital. Like, and like I was saying it to Spud, I was like, I think I'm a bit toxic weird sometimes. Like, I like being put under anaesthetic and things like that. I don't know. Like, I'm just, yeah. So
But that's who you are. I mean, it's probably better than being so shit scared that it's gonna cloud your whole experience. Like,
yeah.
actually for you, it was a blooming outing.
Oh yeah, because like I say, the two ladies I was with, they were a bit nervous and like, oh, it's coming down. Like, am I next? And someone's like, oh, I'm like, just do a runner now. I'm just not like, I'm just. And they're like, you're not bothered, are you? I was like, no.
And like
Really not.
it's because you get cat. And obviously you said this from when you were younger because you went to hospital a lot when you were younger. But do you think it's like something to do with there's like that hope there that this is going to be a step towards making you better or helping your foot? Or do you think it's that element of it as well? Like that's why you're kind of not really nervous because you feel like it's a move in the right direction, if that makes sense.
Possibly, but I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's a bit of a day out, isn't it?
So it literally is a day out. My God. I'm so glad we're going to Wake Up Live on Saturday so I can actually take you somewhere, that is an event, an activity filled day.
I don't know,
Um,
but you like, in the end of the day, you're in the best place, aren't you? If anything's gonna go wrong, you're in the best place. And I don't know, like, it's quite nice. I like, you just put you in a private room. I didn't used to like that sometimes because you don't get to speak to folk, like, do you know what I mean? And I text you, didn't I? Like,
yeah.
I was speaking to, like, the lady in the ward, and I was like, "God, forget a podcast, mate, like, Jesus,"
Yeah.
like. And I think I
That's,
get it, it's just like people get to unreal and, have a bit of a therapy session
mm,
themselves, and you just meet all walks of life again because
yeah.
you actually talk to people you probably won't talk to on the street every day or in your social circle.
Yeah.
And
I
I think that's
mean,
what I used to enjoy about it as a kid because I used to meet other kids
yeah.
and talk to them. And so I don't know, it just wasn't face. And like I say, I don't know, I just quite like getting put under anaesthetic as well. I don't know what it is. And I think I just like the fact, and he didn't count down. He kept talking to me about my metal in my jaw, and I was like, "What did you count to 10?"
See, I literally have been under once, and I remember that, and I remember laying there and doing the counting to 10, and I think it got to like 7 or something like that, and maybe a little bit less than that, and obviously I went under. But it's a horrible, horrible feeling. And I was a
Do
kid
you? See, I
actually.
like it. I
Um,
like it.
Oh, yeah, no,
Even the smell of it, a bit weird.
oh, do you know what though? Like that was when I was younger, like pre my mum's accident. But like then after my mum's accident, basically like the smell of hospitals like really triggers me. If I walk into a hospital, like the smell just like takes me right back to it. And basically when I got pregnant, you have to go to the hospital for um various things. There's like separate wards or separate like buildings for like checkups and
Scans and
scans
all
and
that,
things
yeah.
like that. But then I had to go in a few times for reduced movement. So then you go into like the triage and you go into sort of the labour ward and things. And then as you sort of walk through the initial hospital doors, it's that like kind of smell. And that, you know, the first couple of times it was very much like, okay, but we're here for like a different reason. And then I've been to hospitals like before pregnancy as well. And but yeah, that's like my experience is obviously completely different to yours in terms of like I do not like hospitals at all. And you're like, yeah, send me under, go for it. But that's what makes everyone different, right? And everyone's got the different stories, like you said. And when you were messaging me about that woman, I think, I mean, I'm a freaking crier now anyway, aren't I? I never used to be. Used to be fucking hard as nails. Now I cry at everything. But no, like I was like getting upset when I was reading like the messages that you were sending me because I just was like, I just you just can't even. And I suppose I don't really want to divulge. Let's move on. Harrowing, harrowing, harrowing. So
Yeah.
you're in your lovely 5-star hospital stay, getting
Yeah.
ready for your op. You've had your op, obviously. We talked about what happened at sort of the start of this episode. When you came out of hospital, the operation, sorry, then, and you were in your bed and you'd obviously waking up and you got asked that question that you hated. You had obviously your pain meds. What happened in the sort of hours after that then? Were you sort of in and out of consciousness a little bit? Like, did you feel the pain straight away? What's the pain like? Like, describe it to us.
Describe it. So this is where I get aggy because, like I say, when they
Sorry.
no, it's like the whole pain thing. Because like it's like they always say to you, like again that question, like what is it out of 10? And I said to the woman because it goes back to when I had my blue badge. When I was trying to get my blue badge and I had to appeal it. This is another rant. I mean, Pip. I've got another thing to tell you about that later. Don't
Oh,
let me forget.
okay.
And basically, they're like, oh, what's the pain out of 10? Like 10 being the worst possible pain. And then when I was having my blue badge, I was like, right, so they were like the worst possible pain. She went like when you had your accident. I went right. So you're comparing my leg coming off to someone who sat here where their worst possible pain they've ever experienced is probably arthritis.
Oh my
She went,
god.
mm, yeah, maybe you got a point. I was like,
Yeah.
so you want me to compare 10? Is my leg coming off? Like, I was like, so this is where it frustrates me. And I think it always takes me back and it triggers me. So this woman's like, what's your pain? I'm like, I'm probably going to go for about a 7. She's like, oh, okay. Is it manageable? I was like, well, I ain't going to die. But I was like, I like some pain relief.
Yeah,
I was like, why do we have to go around this
yeah,
rigmarole?
yeah, I know. And also, like, surely you just give everyone the maximum amount that they can have to make sure they're not in any pain, rather than going, "You know what? I wanna feel a little bit of pain. Give me a little bit of pain just to remind me the fucking hell that I'm going through now." Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Because I can remember it just stinging, like stinging on the front of the foot, like being really stinging.
Yeah.
Um, but obviously I was a bit like whatever. Because I don't know if I sent I don't think I sent a voice note to you, but I sent it to one of my friends. Like, fuck you know, you sound up your tits or I'd have spat it. But I think I was just a bit tired.
But we were messaging rather I think, yeah, maybe a voice note. Fucking we speak that much, I get
And
confused where we're voice noting, where we're messaging, what platform we're on this time. But no, and that's what I wanna know. Like, I wanna know, like, what is the pain? Like, what did it feel like? So it was
I
stinging.
was fine, yeah, stinging, and then that was it really. I did have to stay in. It was bleeding quite a bit. Um,
Well, like, so, like, this sounds I don't know, this is why I'm not a medic. Like, not internally or outwardly?
like you can see it on the bandage.
Right, okay, okay.
Do you know what I mean? So they draw a circle around where the blood is, and then come and check it a few hours later to see if it gone bigger.
Yeah, because
So
they
I was
had
supposed
cut
to be on,
your foot open, right, to get the metal, I take it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I presume it's just on the front, but I don't know if it's at the side as well because that's been stinging. We'll find out in 2 weeks when they take it off, I suppose.
Yeah, that was also what I wanted to ask actually,
Yeah.
like how you think it's gonna look.
I don't think it's gonna. I think I think they've gone in on the initial scars
Mm,
where they went in before, but then they've got to go in again and put
mm,
more metalwork in it in a
mm.
few weeks. So as long as everything's all right, because it's one of
Yeah.
those things where with the operation, because it's like you've got so much mobility in it now, and it's kind of like, do I leave it? And I was like,
Okay.
what happens if I leave it? He goes, well, because it is a mess. I ain't gonna lie. So you will have pain. Do you know what I mean? It's just gonna
Yeah.
get worse and it's just gonna grind on each other.
Right.
So it's like, oh yeah, you probably have this mobility, but then you still won't be able to walk
Yeah.
properly. Do you know what I mean? So what's the
So
point of having the mobility
yeah, without
kind of
having to
thing?
use it. So what when you go back in a few weeks then and they do the second part, you'll lose some ability, but what will you gain with having that fusion?
So the 2 weeks I'm only having the stitches out. We still got about another 6 weeks. It's between 6 to 8 weeks depending on bed space. I've not had that operation date yet,
Yeah,
if that makes
checking for the
sense.
infection. So stitches and then further on the fusion. Okay, so what will
Yeah.
happen if
The
all goes to
f
plan? What will it give you? What will you gain?
Basically no pain. So the fusion is they'll, again, rid out if they haven't done it already, they've got a lot of rid of the scar tissue, but it's like the arthritis and bits of cartilage that's probably bits of
Mm.
leftover and whatever bones, and then they'll flatten those down and bring the bones together. And I thought it'd be like welding, but it's not. I think they just kind of bring them together and then those bones will fuse together in like that 10 to 12 weeks.
Mhm.
In that, like, naturally,
Yeah.
because there's no cartilage or anything between it, I
So
don't know.
they'll wrap
So
each other like they'll like wrap the bones
yeah,
around each
so
other.
where your ankle obviously moves like this, for anyone watching, like that,
So Lucy
like
is moving her hand up and down and she's got
yeah, as in,
her other
like, the
hand as a
foot,
fist.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's just gonna be, like, there, so it's just that will probably move
Right, okay. So you
because that
won't get
ankle won't be able to move like
right.
this or
But
like this. So side to side, up or down, it's
okay.
just like a block. It will be fused at, like, is it 90 degrees, right
Yeah.
angle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So,
Well done.
thank you.
So how will that be less pain?
Because it's not rubbing against each other.
Right, okay.
So before you had the screw and the 2 joints and they're just like slipping and sliding
Yeah,
and it's
yeah, yeah,
bone
yeah.
on bone. Where obviously your joints, you've always got like cartilage in your
Yeah.
elbows and all those kind of
So you
stuff.
haven't got any
But with
cartilage left, have you?
no, it's like, yeah, it's gone. And then it's the screws then obviously cause holes and it's just like rubbing
Yeah,
and it kind of jolts as well. So it
yeah,
will like slip. Do
yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's got like no stable,
yeah,
like it just like, and it'll lock
yeah,
and then obviously if you're pulling all different ligaments and stuff with that at the same
yeah.
time, it's just a bit of a nightmare. So if they lock it together, nothing's going to shift and it can't grow like arthritis in it then.
Amazing. It's
So,
just so clever, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
just like medical science, medical, like the world of medicine. Like, it's
Mm.
just incredible what they can do. And this is going to be such a big chance of you going back to the life that you had before. Like, what will it do for you?
Walking. So
Hmm.
walking without pain. They're going to try. Like, I won't be doing anything like marathons, not like I wanted
Mm.
to do a marathon in the first place, but they'd probably say 5 to 8K steady jog, I'd be happy with that. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I wouldn't be probably competing. But just the fact that I can get out and walk,
Yeah.
like I probably won't be wearing. They say they won't be wearing heels, but it's because obviously it's like anything with your body. If you lock it into place, it's there's other muscles then in your toes and your feet will overcompensate to get that movement to go like heel to toe. So even though it's not your ankle moving, you're learning to use
Yeah.
those other muscles to move that.
Yeah.
So again, I think it's just putting your mind to it and making sure you're doing your physio and not being lazy and getting that mobility and just see what you can get out of it.
Yeah.
But to
Well,
walk with no pain. I know I said it will get rid of the arthritis. I'm not 100% sure of it in the joint because they always say once you've got it, you kind of got it. But we'll see. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And
But
go from there.
that's amazing, like, to walk without pain, and it's, like, something that, we're sat here listening, watching, we take it for granted. Don't mean to.
Mm.
Being able-bodied or being someone that's classed as mentally okay and, part of society, can work, this, that, and the other, and kind of tick along nicely, so to speak. You kind of take that for granted. And you're sat here now saying about what will give you the opportunity to walk pain free and start to rebuild your life. Not, not to the full extent that you've ever done, but like you said, even that, even doing like maybe a 5K jog, that felt like it was never going to happen at some points
Mm.
during this journey. So to be sat here now, having had the first stage of the ankle fusion, talking about a life where you can walk without pain, it's just amazing. And like, emotionally, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it does. It's also like you say, hope and joy. Because I think when I spoke to you, even the day before, it wasn't until I think I was getting stressed out, wasn't it? Because if anyone, like we mentioned before, I was trying to book a train journey. Me and Hannah are going to see William and Jordan North, at Help I Sex My Boss in Manchester, which again should be a simple
Mm,
journey that we can plan. I'm literally Congleton, we're not far from Manchester. Hannah's going to come down, we'll get the train in, we'll meet Hannah in Manchester. And it's a bit like, I was getting frustrated, wasn't I? Because I think it was the day before the operation, but I was like, I want to get it all ticked off the list.
mm,
There was apprehension, I think, when I spoke it out loud, like the reason we're getting the metal workouts to make sure we don't need to lose the foot again. So you kind of bring that word amputation up. So there
mhm,
is that kind of fear in there, isn't there? Like, is it going to go well? Like, shit's gone wrong. You're trying to be hopeful, but you can't help but have that anxiety to kind of fear the worst at the same time. And then I think everything that I'm kind of been fighting for, and you don't realize how much, like me and you have spoken in the background about like disabilities and things can hold you back, and how much like I have been, like, for people who know me well, been trying to get, like, picked to get help with a
mhm,
car. So, like, the other day, I wanted to come and see you, but I couldn't come and see you because there was, like, a train coach thing would have took me 4 hours, and I
mm,
can't physically do that with my foot. Where if I had a car that's adapted, I could drive to you.
mhm.
I could be in the car for an hour and a half, and I could have drove to you. But those opportunities keep getting taken away from
Yeah.
me. And so we're trying to book the train to Manchester, because I know I'm waffling on here. So we can get to Manchester Piccadilly, but then it was like, right, Manchester Piccadilly to Manchester Victoria, which is great because the
AO Arena.
yeah, it
Yeah.
just sounded really weird. Is right where Manchester Victoria is. Like, smashing. We can get in, get to our seats, all done. But it's like, well, how do we get to Piccadilly to Manchester Victoria? Because it just says like straight there,
Mm.
didn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so I'm on the website with Trainline, and it's just like, yep, just basically like, just go.
It
And
it was
and
basically saying, just just do what it's saying. There was no consideration for anyone that can't do that, and that's obviously we're gonna
yeah,
lead
it
on
was
to that
like, is it?
now.
Yeah, because I was like, is it tram? Is it a bus? Is it like walking?
Walk, yeah,
And then they're like, okay, well, there's this number, but you have to ring this number, and it's a chargeable number, and then we charge you extra on your tariff and all this stuff. And obviously, you just get, no offense to this bloke, he was doing his job, but I was like, obviously rang him up, didn't I?
mhm,
And I was like, what do I do? I'm trying to book a train to Manchester Victoria, and I've got a disability. I can't walk, basically. I won't be able to walk that day, but I can't
mm,
walk long distances. How can I get to Manchester Victoria? Is it a tram? Is it this? And he goes, oh, you have to walk.
mm,
I went, you just fucking haven't listened to a word I've
yeah,
just said. And it was just like, we're in 2026. Well, one, why can't this be explained on? And he's like, oh, well, if you book your ticket now while you're on the phone, I was like, you're charging me like per second to be on the phone to you because you
yeah,
haven't even got a free service. One, you have no disability awareness whatsoever. This should be on your website. Why is it such a big deal? Like, this is
yeah,
stressing me out. I've got the last train to get back. Hannah's going back to, like up to Sheffield. Like, what if I can't get on this last train? I'm in a wheelchair.
yeah,
What can I book accessibility? I don't want to book a ticket and then you tell me I can't book accessibility. And like, oh no, you can't do it on the app. And then I found out I can do it on the accessibility app, which obviously they lied about. But it's just like it was all back and forth, wasn't it? And I was just
yeah,
getting so agitated, and I was like, I know people who are physically taking the right utter piss
mhm,
to get a mobility car, and they don't see this as you're not mobile enough
Yeah.
because I am physically got the mental capacity, they say, to book and plan a journey. Like I
Yeah.
can put the things into the sat nav. Yes, I can get in touch with train line. Yes, but this is very stressful. This is why we're
Yeah.
not going out because of we can't even freaking plan a
Yeah, it's
journey.
a knock-on
And
effect, isn't
like
it?
and oh, and then like my mate came round the other day and he was talking about one of our friends, and I'm gonna call this friend Pinocchio, just because the amount of lies that have come out.
Oh, okay, okay.
No, well, it's not lies. It's like we're basically he's a friend and he's not working at the moment, and he's got to be in his 30s. His mum's taken him to the doctors, obviously knows what she's doing, and just basically claimed that he the whole I don't know if it's lies. I'm not going to say it's lies because I don't know the full story, but about his mental health and all this, and that he's got a few physical issues. He's got a mobility car, but he can fucking walk. And you
Yeah.
know what? One of his mental health things is he's scared of birds because apparently he got abused. I don't know if he did, and there was birds in the room. He's got fucking aviary in his back garden.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Can't be scared of
mean?
birds that much. Yeah.
Like, and it's
Yeah.
like, how? But because a lot of it just keeps going on mental health. And I do understand that mental health can have issues, but if I turn around and start saying now, and then maybe it has because it has had me in tears, it's got me angry. I can't go to things. It's put a thing. Well, yeah, it actually has, but I need to make sure you lay it on thick. Why do I have to lay it on
Yeah.
thick?
Why should
Why do
you?
people have to lie? Everybody else has to like create all these lies. It's like everything's like a competition. Like, well,
Yeah.
they're getting this, so I need to put this on, and, and it's like to me, a mobility car is if you really need access to get in, out, and drive it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%. And I think,
Like,
like, again, we've had chats about this before, and I think the whole benefit and disability system is so flawed. And I've got experience in it from myself, from family members. And I see vulnerable people not getting the support they need, and other people getting more support than they need. And it's like, it is so far apart, like the disparity of actually people living their life with no support or minimal support, and they haven't got maybe family members or people that can kind of guide them in the right direction. And it's like they just exist, and there's the red flags are screaming, but no one's helping them. And then you've literally got someone down the road who, I'm not even going to go down a stereotypical route because that's not entirely fair, but there are people that are claiming that don't need to claim, that are playing the system, that are literally laughing in social services and the benefit system's face, being like, I don't have to work. I can just claim this money once a week and I can go and spend it on whatever I want. I can walk around this town, this village, this city like a fucking lagerlow and just basically intimidate people and just do what I want to do. Again, this is not everyone. It's just sometimes the
mm,
society that we are brought is brought to our attention, right? There was that show, remember? It had that woman on it, Dee, I think, Benefit Street or something. And that was basically filming
yeah.
people claiming benefits who weren't really entitled to them, but they were just, these stories were so kind of limited that the system was like, okay, yeah, let's give you X, Y, and Z. And I just remember thinking, like, I have got people I know or people, just from the circles that I'm aware of and what goes on in this world, right? There are people screaming out for help, and you get people that don't need it and that take the absolute piss, like you said. Then there are people in between who might just need like a little bit more help. And like you said, maybe they, I don't know, turn it on a little bit. I'm not saying that's right, but they genuinely do need the help. And then you've got people like yourself who physically you have a disability. You didn't want to be in this situation. This is the worst situation for you when you think about you as a person and a personality and what you used to do and how energetic you are and all of that kind of stuff. you don't want to be stuck fighting a system to give you something to
Right.
gain some more
And I
independence.
hope to get better. So
Yeah,
like, "Oh, well, you can appeal." It's like, I applied for this in no, it was July last year. Like, the time I'll get anywhere, I'm hoping I'll be better. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? But that's
yeah,
not like, I could have come and visit you the other day. I could have not had stress. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I driving, I could have drove to Manchester. Do you know what I mean? And all this kind
All of
of
it. And even
like,
when we were, like, planning it, I was like, "Whatever you need, I'll do. I'll meet you here. We'll get you there. We'll get taxis. We'll do whatever." Not a fucking problem at all. But it's bigger than that, right? It's not two friends adapting to a journey because that's exactly what we would do, friends, family, whatever. It's actually there needs to be a bigger conversation about it because for every person that has a friend or a family member that can help them, there's someone who doesn't have that support network that might just want to go to Manchester for the day. They haven't got anyone they can rely on. They've got no one to talk to. And that's the issue. It's for me, it's the vulnerable people that don't have the support around them that need the help. And even when you have got support, you still do need the help because you are physically disabled. And it is definitely having that emotional toll on you because, like you said, a simple thing of booking a train ticket, you ended up on the phone, it was costing you money. You were doing it the day before your operation. So you're already highly stressed and obviously understandably emotional. Even regardless of that, you've got every right to feel validated, but what you're feeling, the frustrations, the upset, the how is this not on a website? How can I not be told if someone's got a disability? What route will they take to this
mm.
one station? And it's almost like you said, we're in 2026 and there's so much talk about diversity, being inclusive. And I'm like, well, is there? Like, is it
Mm.
just for show? Because this is a simple thing that we've
It's
tried to
just a
do.
tick box thing, isn't it? But
Yeah.
these tick boxes
And it's
don't
like,
actually include everybody.
yeah. And
That's the
and
thing.
I mean, I've said for years, that the benefit system just needs to get overhauled, and there are people that are really taking the piss with it, which leaves less money and leaves less resource for the people that actually need it. And it just my heart breaks for people that are probably currently sat maybe in a flat or in a room or a bed sit or something that just haven't got that support behind them, and they're existing, they're not living.
Mm.
Um, and it's just terrible. And I think that we just need to keep having the conversation and pushing. And you will never give up hope because that's not who you are. And you do want to get better. And this is why this ankle fusion is just I'm so glad the outcome has been so positive because it's onwards and upwards to you gaining that independence again. And I know that you won't stop fighting for other people either.
Mm.
If you got better in 6 months' time, I know that you're not just gonna like drop the baton. You'll be like, no, I've been there, I've experienced it. I still need to push forward. And obviously, like we have reached out, haven't we, to try and obviously you know, push the conversation out there. And I think even these types of chats that we're having, whether no one cares or not, it's good to get it off our chest and express our opinions because it's just so sad that there's just not these sort of basic rights that people can have when they've got a disability. And like I said earlier with the walking, you take it for granted. I take the fact I can walk for granted. And it's only when we sit and have conversations or we're trying to do something or, we're having these amazing conversations that we have on the pod and you learn about everyone's walks of life. And it's just one moment, one day, one incident can change your life forever. And it's and even you, like, obviously getting better, getting fixed, getting you to walk or run a 5K, that is the goal. And you are going to be, I mean, it's going to be amazing when it happens, not if, when it happens. But there'll be things that, you probably think in your life that you take for granted. Our sight, our taste,
Oh god, yeah,
the
yeah.
fact that you have got an amazing support network around you. And yeah, every day you're not always going to sit and be grateful and think about everything. There are times where it's going to piss you off, like, and you've got every right. Everyone's got every right to feel frustrated about shit and pissed off about stuff. But it's like, God, we are so lucky in so many ways. But what you're going through, you've got every right to be getting so frustrated about the situation that we've just been talking about, the fact that you
Mm.
can't even book a train ticket. And when you do try and gain that level of independence, there are so many roadblocks in the way that you end up feeling like you want to give up.
Mm. Yeah, like if you weren't there, I probably would give up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, we can test it on the way there now and see if we do get that accessibility. If not, and then if not, I'll get onto A Arena and see if we can get out a different way, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Quicker, or like we have to appeal to
Yeah, appeal to
Jordan
Jordan and William.
and William,
Come
see if
on,
anyone's getting the train back to Holmes Chapel to help me.
please. And like,
Anyone's listening to our pod?
and sometimes you've got to laugh, right? Because else you end up just fucking crying. And it's only because you've got the personality that you've got that you will do this and you'll keep fighting. Like, but think of all the people that just, like, all these
Yeah,
hurdles that they've got to jump over that they just physically and mentally can't, you know? Oh, it's just so shit. But
I know.
we're going. We're going to get a taxi from Manchester Piccadilly,
Yeah,
and we're going to keep obviously bringing awareness to Trainline or whoever else and all the trains that they need to make instructions really
yeah.
clear on the website on how that travel's happening and what is the option for people who can't do it, you know, who can't walk or can't. What do they do then instead? They just stay at home.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell.
I know.
I said,
Because
let
when I
out.
booked it, did I? I said to you, I was like, oh, we've got accessibility. And it was like, oh, part of this journey might not be accessible.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, we'll find out, won't we? Like, because
I
then it was
know.
like, then it came through like it. I was like, oh, I don't know.
I
There's
know.
times, but we'll see what happens. We'll
Yeah,
just document it and see what happens.
exactly. We'll you know, we'll keep you updated if we're stranded in
Yeah.
Manchester or not.
If anyone's around on the 28th
Wants to help us.
or getting the train back.
Well, even we talked about getting a hotel, but then even then you were like, that's great. However, I need to think about an adapted bathroom, a room on the ground floor, being out in Manchester at night. You know, people are rightly so having a great time, but then I'm worried about my foot. You know, it's not easy for you just to
Mm.
kind of get out, walk, get in a taxi, move to a different bar. So even that, it's like, actually, my only option is to get this train.
And
There is,
that's the option I want. I don't want to spend, and you spend more than we paid on our ticket to go and watch the show. To just go and stay in a room where we're just going to trample back, where I might not even be able to have a shower and a
yeah,
wash anyway, just for a bed because we don't feel safe about getting home.
yeah,
To go
exactly.
into a room that's not adaptable, maybe because
And then stink because I can't even have a shower.
yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
honestly, like it is, and it's just hard, isn't it? And obviously, you're going through this and being an absolute trooper, and this ankle fusion will just release so many possibilities for you, won't it?
Yes, I know. I'm aware it's going to take longer, and everyone's like, "Don't be rushing." I won't be rushing back because, like I say, it's a good 12 to 18 months recovery after. But everyone's like, "Oh, that's a long time." I'm like, "It's nearly been 2 years now. I'm sure I
Yeah.
can manage that." Do you know what
What's
I
your other
mean?
option? You're not going to just
Yeah,
sit and
exactly.
do nothing, are you? Do you know what I mean? Like you're going to
No.
try and get better, and that long term goal will be so worth
Oh
it.
yeah.
You know, when we're all at that finish line and you're doing your 5K, like raising money for Trainline to get more accessibility on their website. Go on, you can do this. But like even getting out and about for you, I remember you said, I remember you, I remember you said, when we did that Christmas episode that we did the funny thing about B&M, obviously, telling us what we need, not the other way around, and you did your like wrapping paper. But at some point
uh,
during that episode, or some point when we were just having a conversation, maybe it wasn't on one of the apps, but you said something about, I managed to get to like 2 shops today because the disabled spot was empty when I pulled up, and I was able to wander around both shops, and I got back and it was so nice. And I remember, like, I don't think I ever did say it at the time because it was on that episode, but we were drinking, so I can't remember. Or if we had it outside of that episode, I just didn't say it to you at the time, but it's just I'm just remembering it now. And you said that, and obviously we're yapping away. And then I was thinking, like, God, I go to like shops all the time. Like I just go going to a shop without even thinking about it. I'm actually thinking, fuck, how much am I going to spend today? That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking about a car parking space or, can I get round this shop? And if I get round it, am I going to be at the till and suddenly my foot is starting to really hurt? And am I going to be able to get back to my car? And is it going to take me 3 hours just to do 2 shops and get back? Is it going to make me feel really tired that I just need to sit for a couple of hours? I don't have to think of any of that, and yeah, I just think it's incredible because, especially because this is something that's happened to you. You weren't born with it. It's not something that you're like, oh, it's always been like this. This is just, I don't know any different. You did know different. You were able to go
Mm.
to shops and run and dance and go clubbing and drive. Like, how, from a perspective shift, does that feel like? Do you sit and think about that? Do you pine after it? Do you think this is that, I was meant to be in this position? I know obviously we speak a lot about fate and
Yeah.
things like that. Like, what
I
what
think
what do you think?
I think I'd be lying if I didn't feel sorry for myself now and again.
Mm,
But you always think, oh, there's people that are worse off as well. And I think you've just got to keep looking forward, haven't you? And I think the most frustrating thing, like what I get frustrated at, it's not even like my independence being taken away. Yeah, it can be a bit like, oh, I just love to go out today or just go here and whatnot. But I think because you've got that hope in the end that it's going to get better, where if it wasn't, I'd probably feel a bit more sorry for myself. But I think
mm,
you just got to keep coming up with solutions. To me, like I say, the part that angers me the most is that comparison with when what we said before, when there's people absolutely taking the piss
mm.
that are able to get all these benefits and then you can't. I think that's the thing that angers me the most, or that's the things that winds me up, if that makes sense, or
Yeah.
that I'm thinking about. It's like when I was in hospital, I was getting wound up about the whole Manchester thing again.
Mm.
Like texting you, it was 2:22 in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
About how I was going to write to Jordan and William to see if they can help us. Do you know what I mean? It was things like, and obviously that's probably because I've got medication in me as well, and I was just wired.
Look,
But I
if
was
they
like
respond, then
angry about it. Do you know what I mean? Because I was
yeah.
like the anesthetic still in there. I mean, blood pressure was only like 60 something, so I was very slow, um, and whatever going down. But I was just like, yeah, I think they're the things that naturally wind me up. I'd be lying if I said, oh, I'm dead hunky dory, I'm dead positive. I am most of the time, because you're always looking forward. Like, I will get better. Like, oh, this is feeling better today. But yeah, like I'd be lying, 100%.
But I mean, you'd be absolutely well within your right to be pissed off and frustrated and feel sorry for yourself and upset regularly throughout every day, you know.
Mm.
But
I don't think that's a way to be there, is it? 'Cause it's not going to get you anywhere. But I think as long as you can kind of make a difference with it at the same time,
yeah,
because sometimes I think naturally before I just like brush things off, like, oh, it's not my problem, or it's not. You know what I mean? When now it's like, actually, have I kind of been dealt these cards to do something about it?
and that's what I meant earlier. Like, if you got
Mm,
better, you won't stop this fight now. Like, you are disabled yourself, which is something that's probably been quite hard to get your head round.
mm,
And now you openly say it. It's almost like you're proud to be like, I'm disabled and this is what I need help with, which is fantastic because you're a voice for other people who are disabled. And if someone was to go, you're fixed tomorrow, you wouldn't stop this fight. You'd be like, no, I've been there. I've emotionally felt it. I've physically been there. I'm going to continue this fight for the rest of my days, which is incredible because it will always be your problem, even if it never will be your problem again. If it's
mm,
ankle fusion, which will go to plan and you will be able to live more of your life, I feel like you are going to continue to be an advocate, and hopefully we'll continue this pod, and hopefully we can still continue to have these conversations with people who have had these incredible stories that every time we talk to someone, we're like blown away, which is like what I am right now with you as well, because obviously we're talking about the fact that I get to do day-to-day things without even thinking about it, and so much has to go into your planning. And like I said, we keep going back to the train ticket because it's physically affecting you and emotionally as well. So you've just got those worlds combined. And I'm sure you won't mind me saying it, but when you were voice noting and you were crying and you were getting upset, like, it killed me because I was
Mm.
like, "This is awful. Like, this is just a no how has it got to this? How you shouldn't have to be feeling this way, you know? You should just be able to book a fucking train ticket, or at least there be information to tell you that you can't get from A to B if you've got walking problems, if you've got, you know, a disability of a, you know, physical sort or whatever it is. So then you know what the fuck to do. Okay, that option's out. Let's try and do something else rather than spending an hour trying to figure it out and then getting fucking charged for it as well. Like, just to kick you in the stomach even more. But yeah, I think your positive attitude is obviously what's bringing you on this journey, and everyone obviously says the same. And I think this is why, obviously, yeah, you aren't probably going to go back to what you did before. There will be other things coming your way, and we've, you know, talked about it separately ourselves. And you know, there's things that I think you'll be able to do and move through the rest of your life as opposed to going back to what you were doing before. And yes, I don't think you should have no foot to do that. um, but like we've said with all of our episodes and we're chatting to all our guests, it's like it's led them down this path for a reason.
Mm.
And when you go through stuff, your character is built on it, your personality is built on it, the opportunities that you get from it because of, you know, how you go for it, how you fight for it, and everything to do with how someone comes out of their trauma is just a like movement into their new world almost, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. Like, now we're having this conversation, I know we've got, Stephanie, who's on in a couple of weeks,
Mhm.
who's got the whole
Yeah.
amputation, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I feel like a right knob now." She's like moaning about bloody ankle, it's not like, do you know what I mean? But it is, isn't it? At the
Yeah.
time, like, we've all got a right to have a bit of a
But
whinge.
and it's all relative, and we've
Yeah.
said that a lot on the pod, like, it's
Yeah.
all relative. And yeah, you know, I'm 5, 6 years into understanding that because I used to struggle with that and really
Yeah, because I know you
envy.
say about, like, the broken nail, and I've got a book here actually, and there's a saying in it, and I was gonna highlight it. I'll have to probably read it again to find it, but I was like, "Hannah's gonna like that saying." Um,
Yeah,
but
no, it
yeah.
is. It's that relative broken nail theory. Someone's emotion is just as valid if whether they've got a broken nail or they've got a broken family, right? You can't take that emotion away from someone because that emotion is real and raw for that person, regardless of the situation. And that's the sort of same thing we're saying here. You know, when we speak to Stephanie, you know, and she's going to be sharing her incredible story, but you will resonate with so much of that because it's still
Mm.
linked to mobility. You know, I'm going to be the one feeling like an ass. I'll be like,
I'm like, "Oh, Hannah's got 2
have I
legs."
got, I can walk, you can fuck it off. So good to meet you here from you today. But
I
like,
can only with 2 legs anyway.
I'll be like, but then get someone on that's got perfect family and I'll be like, right. So
True. And
it's
also, Stephanie has got a prosthetic leg, and it does work perfectly fine. But obviously, we'll go more into her story when she comes on. I don't want to
yeah.
give it away.
Yeah, no,
She
for
does some
sure.
great things.
And I also think that it's probably going to be a good space to explore that with you because obviously we have mentioned a couple of times that loss of limb was something that you were told by doctors. And obviously, you know, you're still here with your limb and there's no sign of infection today. They're monitoring it. If there's no sign of infection, obviously, like I said, in 6 to 8 weeks. So, you know, from us sitting here today talking, your ankle fusion is the goal and is gonna be the solution, and
Mm.
it won't be amputation. But obviously, when we have the conversation with Stephanie and we find out about her story, I'm sure naturally it's gonna trigger something in you, and you'll be able to speak to someone firsthand who's had an amputation
Mm.
about that. So, not that that's gonna be your solution, but it could have been. So,
Yeah.
again, I think that's gonna be really interesting to explore during her episode because it'll be that, you know, you'll be able to resonate with parts of that.
Yeah, definitely. So we shall see. Yeah.
And well, like just obviously coming towards the end of our chat, I think what would you want to say to yourself, like 2 years ago when it all happened and after you kind of got over that initial period where you were like, my life's changed forever? And from where you are today, a few days after your operation, like, what do you think you'd want to say to that version of Lucy?
It's hard, isn't it? Because if you go back to June 24, as I've said before, I never believed it was gonna be as bad as they said
Yeah.
it was gonna be. So, talking to her now and telling her where I was at, I'm probably like, "Fucking hell." Like, "Where's the going again?" Like, put me under that anesthetic. I can't be dealing with this for the next 2 years. Um, but if you told me maybe last year when it was Easter and they told me it was infected and it was possible loss of limb again, um, I think I'd just be like, just don't give up.
Yeah.
Like, listen to your body, fight when you need to, um, like outspoken kind of thing. Like, because it was me who said it, like, for like, shall we look at stem cells? Shall we?
Mm.
My surgeon was great. Where I spoke to other surgeons, they're like, nah, it'd just be ankle fusion. Where there could have been possibilities of these things working, but no one else was willing to look at it. So
Yeah.
just don't give up. If you think that something's going to work, in the end of the day, it's your body, it's your limbs, it's your rest of your life. Get those opinions. And
Yeah.
it's hard because sometimes you just want to give up because you're just like, this is so draining on my energy. I just keep getting told the same things and you're going around in circles. But I think you just know then and then just go with your gut. Just literally go with your gut. If you feel anything that's off of your body, and then we had conversations the other week,
Mhm.
and just anything, just keep fighting. You know deep down what's going on, and Lucy in whatever month we're in now, March. Are we in
March, yeah.
March? 2026, like, you know what, you've got a bit of a wiggle going on and,
Yeah.
hopefully it will get better, but I think just don't get too overexcited and just keep plodding on and yeah,
Yeah.
that's just the way it's gotta be and just keep fighting.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really great message to yourself and also to other people who may be listening and particularly interested in your story because they could be going through something similar. It could be a different limb, it could be another physical disability that might not be an amputation, but it could be limiting, or, again, it could be someone that it's happened to them recently and they never experienced or never expected to be sat looking at a life, as a disabled person. There could be lots of things like that. So it's that reality check, like you said, don't get too overexcited, but be realistic, but keep fighting, know your body. And there, there are solutions out there, there are options. And even if you don't know anything about what you're currently going through, as you wouldn't have known, God, you're an expert now. You're an expert in everything to
Yeah.
do with that. And I think that's the thing. It's believing in yourself and having your own back, isn't it? Because,
Mm.
I think what you've got to do is make sure that you're never going to think, I didn't try, I didn't ask that question, I didn't look into that. I got myself to 80%. And if I'd just done that extra 20%, I could be in a different position right now. So yeah, you'll be able to look back on this journey and regret nothing in regards of your recovery and your options.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see where we are in 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. We're sure
Yeah.
we'll definitely be carrying on this story. It absolutely feels right to be able to continue sharing updates and talking about how you're feeling physically and obviously like emotionally as well, because that's just as important. And hopefully, again, like we say to our guests, hopefully this has made you feel like a bit better, got some things off your chest, as well as those big boobs, and like made you feel like you got a different spin on things now. You've had the op,
Mm.
we're now on to like the next stage. Because I feel like that, and I'm not even going for it, but watching you go for it, I'm like, my hope's like renewed again. I'm like, right, okay, let's wait for another few weeks. Let's get the stitches out, and like, I'm
Mm.
like on that like momentum again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so hopefully you are as well.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. Like I say, it's exciting to see what will come of it. Because like I say, I think it was a bit like is it PST? Like, I can never remember these things.
PTSD?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Like going in the other day, it's like, shit, like this is happening. Like you've been waiting for it for so long and now it's happening. I presume it's not really like a wedding because a wedding is a happy thing, but like it's that countdown, it's that build
Yeah.
up, isn't it? Or like a holiday, I don't know, just like those big kind of lifetime
Yeah.
events. You're like, oh, now this is happening. Like I'm
Yeah.
actually on a road to it. So yeah, we'll just go from there and we'll update everybody. And anyone wants to see any more pictures, I'll put a little
Yeah.
carousel together when we put this episode out to
Yeah.
where we are picture wise. I won't put the gruesome ones up again, just because Instagram doesn't like them.
They
So if you want
don't.
the gruesome ones,
DM.
just scroll down, and they are on our Facebook and
Just, yeah, at
Instagram.
the bottom.
Oh, definitely on our Instagram anyway. So go on there, and the ones where it says censored, if you click on it, you
It
can see
shows.
them.
Yeah.
But I won't put them
Just
on again because it all keeps fucking up our algorithm because everyone
yeah.
thinks we're sick.
Also, you can DM if you want them, like some weird, like fan thing, if you
I
want to
know
see them.
if they want DMs, they're subscribing to that stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's a business chat while I'm offline.
And only limbs. Not only our fans, only limbs.
Only
That's a
limbs.
good start.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past you. So
Hey, and if people do like that kind of stuff, get yourself on Savage Paramedic. Follow them on Instagram.
Ooh,
They got some really good stuff on there. And you have to guess what it is.
no, it's not for me
Yeah.
at all. No, no, thank you. Absolutely not.
And when I actually applied for Gladiators, for those who don't know, I got the audition to Gladiators a few years ago before I did the leg. And the girl who was at the auditions with me got me on Savage Paramedics after I did my accident, saying I could be on there.
My God. I
Yeah.
mean, do you just submit pictures if you want to be on
I
there,
don't know. I
or
think it's no, I don't know actually. I never put mine forward, but they have like things. It's like, what is this? Like a bear attack, someone falling off a curb or something like that. And some of the stuff like really, really gruesome, but then some stuff like really, really funny. When people get like objects stuck where they shouldn't get things stuck.
I don't want to see that either. Like, honestly, I'm too
I'll send
PC
you
for all
some.
that. No, you're fucking not sending me any of that. No, thank you. Honestly, I can't. I can't. Um, anyway, no, so glad that you've obviously given us an update and shared, obviously, yeah, the last few months really of what you've been going through, and that the operation was a success. That's a really, really
Yes.
positive outcome. And yeah, just looking forward to the next few months, seeing where it takes you. Obviously, we've got some great things coming up together as
Yes.
well.
We've got this weekend.
Yeah, so we'll share all about that. Wake Up Live with the Authentic Girls Club. And then obviously
Yes.
we've got our podcast show. And then there's a few other bits and bobs going on, hopefully.
There is. We just 2 weeks. We can't process anything longer
No,
than 2 weeks in our heads.
no.
Yeah.
That's true. But no, it's been amazing. And I know that people are going to be really happy to see you, hear you, and yeah, get this information from you regarding your foot. So yeah, really, really good. And thank you so much for sharing and just giving everyone what they want to hear, because we all love and care about you. So we're really
Oh,
happy
thank you.
that obviously we're at this stage now.
Yeah, I'll give out a shout out to Lindsay because she was like, "We need an update on your foot." So here you are, Lindsay. You got
Yeah. We were
it.
like, as soon as we did episode 1, we were like, we'll be coming back round to this one. Don't you
Yeah.
worry.
And
Um,
Charlie was like, "We need an update." I'm like,
yeah. No,
but
for
I feel
sure.
like I've told everybody, but everyone, like, we've all know now that it's out there.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, because we've been able to delve a bit deeper in things, haven't we? Like, and explore it more and just, yeah, understand it. Because again, we don't know the ins and outs. It's nice for you to explain it. And like I said, for me, the overall feeling is that, yeah, we are literally moving forward, which is just so positive. So yeah, we're going to keep everything crossed, all the manifestations for everything,
Yeah.
including your foot. Absolutely. And I just can't wait to be at the finish line of your 5K run in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7
Yeah.
years, whenever that might be. I think you're going to have an army of supporters, and
Yeah.
we'll just keep fighting the cause for all
We'll aim
these
for my
situations.
40th. I think that's a good target, if not before.
Yeah.
So
Well,
there
yeah,
we go.
because just in case anyone doesn't know, Lucy's 37, not 38. Because she always says I'm younger than you.
Like you be my manager.
Yeah, it's the same thing, isn't it?
I don't even know that Hannah was my manager. I don't know if she's mentioned it.
I just like to, set the stools out straight away. But no, that was a one season thing, and then we've been friends ever since. So, right, anyway, let's go. Done.
Let's go. Crack on.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. There are actually some amazing guests that we've been able to chat to. We feel so lucky, don't we? Like, it humbles me every time we have those conversations. I'm just like, wow, like I'm just so lucky to get to speak to these people. So yeah, there's loads of great episodes. We've got 24 out now.
24.
Yeah.
Is it 24 or 23?
24. We did the stats the other day for the season 2
Did
wrap
it say
up.
24? Because obviously I put that ketamine thing out by accident, and
Yeah.
it was like
24.
10 seconds.
24.
Is that
24, 19 guests, yeah. Anyway, let's go. Thank you so much for anyone that's listened and watched. I know that Lucy really values your support as well. So yeah, thank you, and we'll see you next time. So bye from me.
Doodles.